What's going on, people, man? We're back here with another video, man. I promise you guys a PS4 Pro review, and I got it, man. So I had my hands on it for about a couple, like 2 months maybe, and now I think it's time for me to get my review out for you guys, man. And I just got the Xbox One X. Now I'm trying to make this video as quickly as possible because I know I see a lot of videos on YouTube be about 10 plus minutes. I'm gonna try to make sure it's at least 8. But if it comes to it, will probably be 12. I even took notes for this shit, so you know your boy's serious about this review. So first things first, let's start with the whole box. I got the Star Wars Battlefront 2 edition of the PlayStation 4 Pro. Retails for about $400. I know when it first released it was about $450, but it's a good deal overall. Hopefully I will have images on the screen for y'all because I don't have those type of cameras to capture everything like that, just like that. I ain't rich like that. So I'm gonna have the images like that. Now, the controller is relatively the same. It's really the same thing. Since the Star Wars edition look like two bitches pierced their nipples on the controllers, but overall, it still feels the same. It has a 3.0 port on the back of it. It has the optical port. I know the Slim didn't have it back when it was released, and we guys use your Turtle Beaches and shit like that. The size of it is like really big. Like it's a lot bigger than the PS4 and the PS4 Slim. I sold mine, so I really can't do any type of comparison. As far as the specs goes, it has a 1TB hard drive. I know it has an AMD Jaguar. I will leave the specs, hopefully I'll have it on the image for you guys, because I don't know all of that shit. Even though it's important, I'm going to sit here and not really talk too much about that, just in case some of you guys are probably wondering, what the hell am I talking about, so it goes to the specs. Now, going to the next segment. 4K and 1080p resolution. Now, before I get into this part, I play on a monitor, which is 1920 by 1080. I do not have a 4K monitor, and when I did have it, I had to get rid of it because for some reason I'll get into it later. But overall, I must take into consideration. I recommend you guys play on a fucking monitor. Do not play on television. Even if it is 4K, even though it's worth it, it's probably a lot cheaper than a monitor. You can, but overall, I find it better to be playing on a monitor. Now, the reason why I say is because it's a lot faster and stuff like that. Now, one thing you must take into consideration as far as the 4K is concerned: is your TV 4K? Is your monitor 4K? Because I know some 40 inches is 1080p, some of you 32 inches may be 720p, some of you 50 and 55 inch TVs may be 1080p. Now, that's something you must look at and say, hey, if I'm going to invest in this, will a 4K monitor, does my 4K monitor fit it? You have to search for 4K monitor. Now, as far as the monitor goes and HDR support, high dynamic range, some of your televisions may have it, and make sure it supports as well, HDR10. Now, as far as some of the monitor goes, if you guys do have one and you want to invest in one, make sure it has, some monitors don't even have HDR, and if they do, they're really, really expensive. So, I know that BenQ have it, maybe, I think Asus maybe, or LG, I forgot which brand. But overall, taking into that, the image quality looks really, 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 really good on that. So, to do a comparison about that, the only game I have in common with my Xbox One S is Fortnite, and when I played it, I immediately noticed the difference. Even though you can't really notice it when you boot up your PS4 Pro or your Xbox One X, it's like one of those things where you boot it, it's like, okay, you played it so much, you still can notice it, but it's like, okay, it's really relatively the same thing in my opinion, but overall you still can notice the difference, you just can't see it yet. Now, as far as the system performance goes, the super sampling mode, which has recently been new, is an update that has been added like a month and a half ago. It basically can improve the image quality of some games on a TV or monitor with a 2K resolution or lower. And basically what that is, if your TV is not 4K, it will basically improve the image even fucking more. So that's even a blessing in disguise. Even though the PS4 Pro came in like 2016-ish, 27-ish maybe, can't remember, super sampling mode is amazing. If some games have it, some games don't, and all depends on the developers. I know games like Fortnite have it. I was streaming DBZ, Xenoverse 2. They have super sampling mode. So it improves the quality of your game if you do not have a 4K TV. I know one thing for sure, 1440p. I even looked in the options. There's no 1440p, so it's strictly 720 through 2160p. I used the RGB when I did have a monitor. I did test it out. And also another cool thing that this feature has on the PS4 Pro is boost mode. Experience improved gameplay, including higher frame rates for some games that were released before the PS4 Pro. Now, what that means, it's either the frame rates are going to be locked or it's going to be a stable. It may dip just like maybe 1 frame or 2 frames compared to where it may drop 5 frames in a certain scene. Now, if you guys are probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about the frames, it's basically the image being displayed in front of you. Now, sometimes you may not be lagging. I mean, the frame. If you're playing the game and you notice that you're lagging, the game might not be fucking lagging. Maybe the game is just poorly optimized and the frames are just fucking dropping on your ass. Now, you must take this into consideration. HDMI and mostly consoles are capped at 60 hertz and mostly capped at 60 frames per second. You can't go above 60 unless you're on the PC side of things. So just take that into consideration. If you're probably wondering, oh, I want to go above 60. No, that is not that. So another thing, for the system performance is loading screens, and like far as like improved faster loading screen, like maybe like 0.5, 0.2. Even though it is faster, you get into the game quicker. It's a lot faster. You do get better Wi-Fi. It does download a lot faster than the original PS4 and PS4 Slim. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, I would like to say I do notice a lot, especially the frame rate being constant or locked. It's a lot smoother. I did notice that. PS4 Pro games enhanced, which is basically the 4K type stuff. Some games are PS4 Pro enhanced, some are not. Some are in 4K, some are not. It all depends on the developers. It all takes an update, and sometimes the updates are fucking huge. I will take into consideration. I do personally recommend you guys get like a terabyte hard drive, something like that. So just take that consideration. The games are not at a true 4K. True 4K is 2160p at 60 FPS. Because some games, for instance, like the new God of War is coming out this week, is at 2160p at 30 FPS. That's not true 4K gaming. Even though it doesn't say true 4K gaming, I don't like for the Xbox. I'm using an example. That's not true 4K gaming. This is, even though the Xbox is stronger, this is not even, it's just, 4K gaming at that. Either it's upscaling or native. It has to be one of those. But it's not really true 4K gaming, but, even though you have 1440p, which probably will be in the future, which would probably be cool. It also depends. So it really depends on the devs. It's not all on Sony, guys. We be bashing Sony like a motherfucker. It depends on some of these game developers, and it also takes time. And that's why they make some of these games to test and see how they can get away with it. So that's what really happens, especially early on in this generation at time. Now, the services that is in the PlayStation, if you guys are going to purchase this, I think the only thing that's really come to mind to me is the PlayStation Now. This is really what kills me with PlayStation and Sony. There's lack of backwards compatibility, which means I want to play PS3, PS2, and possibly PlayStation 1. Hell, let me even get a PSP maybe for the emulator. But they do put it in the PlayStation Store so you can purchase it like a regular game download. But if I have the disc already, let me put it in and let me play it. That's what it really lacks the services on PlayStation, even though we do have better games. It's just the fact that the backwards compatibility. That's why I like Xbox so much. But for the PlayStation Now, it's a streaming service where you play PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 games, and I think maybe PlayStation 2 if I'm wrong. Similar to Xbox Game Pass on Xbox, but the thing about this is on PlayStation it's a lot more expensive, and for a month it's like $20. I think like 3 months is like $40. I think it's really expensive, but I think it's worth it. It's like Netflix. You can stream it. Make sure you have good internet for that, because if not, it's going to be choppy and laggy as hell. Now, as far as the games goes, this is where this review gets even better for you guys if you try to debate on whether or not to get it. As far as compare this to Xbox, PlayStation's been shitting on Microsoft since the release. Games such as God of War, Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us, like all these amazing games that we have. It's the reason, basically, exclusive games basically make the console, and that's really how it is, and that's how I'm just going to call it now. That's the reason why it has a lot of amazing games, and I'm just going to leave it at that. In conclusion, I just want to say that should you pay $400 plus tax to get the game, you got to play for PlayStation Now. If you want that, PlayStation Plus, which costs $60, you do get 4 free games a month. Personally, I say yes, it's worth it. Simply because of you get a better experience, better gameplay, and better system performance and graphics. If that's not your cup of tea, you don't want to buy this. You don't want to spend. Just get the regular PS4, PS4 Slim. Now you don't always have to pay for. You have to pay full retail price. You can easily go on one of them. You easily go on eBay. You can go on an app called OfferUp or an app called Mercari, which I used to use to buy my video games, and you can get it for the down low. Hell, I've seen an Xbox One X and a PS4 go for like $200. A PS4 Pro go for like $200. So that's the main thing that I want you guys to know, is that it all depends on you. What if you have a PS4? Hell, sell that PS4 for about $150, $200. Hell, you're already halfway there. Hell, if you don't have a console at all and you want to get into it, I think it's a good start to get into this. Even if you don't have a 4K TV, you still benefit from other features with this thing. So that's really it. And also depends on if your friends like once again, majority of my friends on PS4. That's why I stay on PS4 majority of the time. I have all of the consoles, so it really depends on what your friends have. So hopefully I answered majority of you guys' questions and concerns. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. This is not a sponsored video at all, even though some of y'all can fuck with me. And one thing I forgot to add, PS4 Pro does not have 4K Blu-ray or something like that, which is really disappointing because it's Sony. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. Hope you guys have a blessed day. I got another video dropping for you guys after this. I'll see you later. I'm out. Peace. Something I forgot to mention is that you can even record, if you guys are trying to be YouTubers, you can record in 1920 by 1080 in the standard PS4. I think PS4 Slim is 1280 by 720. If I'm correct, I believe it's like that. It should be like that. Now, I did not get any of my footage in 4K. I'm not paying $400 for a damn 4K Elgato capture card. Y'all can kiss my ass on that. I ain't got bread like that. But overall, yeah, that's really it, man.